Hi everyone, this is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. If you are not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. Guys, I have been cutting all day, all morning, to share this project with y'all, and hopefully you guys will join me because it's not all put together. So I was hoping that some of you might want to, pull out some cardstock, do some die cutting and join me in this process. Like I said, I've been cutting all day. But if you have a stash, that's awesome. I didn't have a stash of the colors that I wanted to use, so I had to recut. One of the main things I'm working with, and I have everything piled here because I've been going back and forth, and cutting, and then doing some more cutting, and I had a lot going on as far as cutting. Let me see, let me collect all this set right here. Okay. The main thing that I used in this project, I can't say the main thing because I'm using a lot of things, but one of the things that I wanted to create with was the Anna Griffin door dies, because I saw another card on Pinterest that I really wanted to try. And so I did a bunch of die cutting this morning, and when I thought I was done, I got another idea and had to go do more die cutting so I could share it with y'all. So this is the door die that I used, but this set comes with the 2 door dies with the Christmas decorations, the lantern, the holly spray, the wreath, the bow, the swag, and then it comes with a little pine or Christmas tree, and then a topiary. And it also came with 2 embossing folders. So it came with some type of stonework and brick. And this one is called Door Dies and Decorations by Anna Griffin. So I used that. Let me go ahead and put it in its pouch so I can start removing them from my table. And then I had bought, if you have been watching my videos lately, I shared a haul. Landslide. I shared a haul, and in that haul I bought the Spellbinders Spellbinders, where is it? Oh my goodness. The Spellbinders open house sentiment stamps. So these are just the stairs. I didn't get the house or anything, but I love this because I thought these would work great with any door dies that you have. They don't even have to be Anna Griffin. As long as you have a door die, these will work, and these are great sentiments. I wish they would add more, and I don't know if it's out there, but I'm going to look after this video because I had another idea for this that I had seen a while back. One of the ladies, I think it was V. Ballin that shared it, or it might have been Audrey So Goodall. But it was one of those 2 ladies that shared an idea, and I finally put it together. So anyway, I used the steps. I love these by Spellbinders. I also use the cartouche cut and embossed folders from Anna Griffin that cuts the very nice sentiment, the backings for sentiments. And this comes with a set of 3, and they are called cut and embossed folders, and they're called cartouche. That's the one that I used. And what else? I used some black mirror cardstock. I used my door from the door die that I have from Anna Griffin. Does not have the doorknob. It doesn't have the letterbox or the kick. What is it called? The kick something. There's a portion that goes in the front of the door. It's called a kick something, and I don't remember what it is. But the Anna Griffin die doesn't have it. But I have this one by Carnation Crafts, and it's called Grand Reception Card Shape. And this is a door and a window. And from this set, I used the door knocker right here, or the lock, the handle. And I used this little oval right here. And I used the numbers, and I used one of these rectangles because these are rectangles. So I used one of those rectangles. I mean, it's a big set. There you go. So I used the numbers. I used this piece right here. I used that, and I used one of these center dies from in here. The kick plate. It's called a kick plate. But the Anna Griffin or this one either, they don't come with a kick plate. So I just use one of these rectangles to create a kick plate for the bottom. And this one does have the letter die. The Anna Griffin doesn't. So that's where I got this portion from. And I think I have another door that has a real nice letter one, but I didn't want to go looking. I knew I had this one and knew where it was at. So I used this one. And let me start moving some of these things out of the way. And I used a mirror cardstock. So I used that. And I got stuff everywhere, you guys. By Carnation Craft also, I used a couple more of their dies. Let me dig it out of my pile I have over here. I use the this die right here. It's called Vernal Wreath, and I used it because I didn't want to print out the artwork. I wanted it to do it in a solid color. So, and I needed the foliage and the flowers to be small. So I used this piece from this set. This is a gorgeous set. It's called Vernal Blooms, the whole collection, and I have the whole thing, and it is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Let me find the pouch and put that back in the pouch. So I did pull out of a lot of things. And when you see what I created, you guys probably have something in your stash that will work for what I created. And you know what? I'm just going to stop there, and I'm going to share with you what I created as I'm going. I'm going to share with you what I use to do certain things. So, first of all, you're going to need a card blank. This is an ivory one by Tonic Studio. And I'm going to put it together with you guys, or part of it. You're going to need this is a 5x7 card base. If you want to add the steps to it, you are going to need a bigger size. And I did cut another one because I'm not going to adhere all the embellishments to my door, because I'm going to turn it around and do something a little bit different, and I think you guys will love it. So the Anna Griffin die comes with an embossing folder, and it's kind of like stonework or brickwork. And I embossed this piece, and you know what? I used the wrong embossing folder, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and use this one anyway. Did it come with 3 embossing folders? I think it came with 3 embossing folders. It does come with one that is brick, because here's the brick one that I used. And I thought that's the one I had used here, but apparently not. But I'm still going to go with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and just add glue to this and glue it down. And this embossing folder is not a 3D embossing folder, so it's not, you know, it's going to glue down. Usually when I use 3D embossing folders, I try to add a lot of glue, because the indentation is so deep that sometimes a portion of the paper doesn't touch whatever you're gluing it to. So I'm just going to spread it everywhere, because I know it's not going to catch everything because of the dips in it. And I'm going to glue this down. And I left myself a very narrow border. Yeah. I'm leaving myself a very, very narrow border. So this piece, I only took off about, not even a 1/4 of an inch, you guys. So it's less than a 1/4 of an inch. Because I wanted to give, or maybe even just a 1/4 of an inch, because I wanted to have just a little piece of the underneath color showing. So that's what I did there. This one is glued down. The next thing that I cut out, if you're going to play along with me or craft along with me, I call it playing, is this 5x7 matting basic set A from Spellbinders. And this is the only one that I had that was big enough for what I needed to do with it. So I used this one. Let me move that out of the way. And I created a frame, because I'm going to, in the description box below, I'm going to link the card that inspired me. So I'm going to link it there, that way you guys can see it. So you cut out a frame, so you're going to need two of the dies, the larger one, then the next one down, so it'll give you an open frame. And then we're going to glue this down, and I'm going to glue it straight down. I'm not going to add any dimension to it or anything like that. And I'm just going to glue it down. I hope that I stay in frame, because I'm real bad about pulling my work towards me. So we're going to glue this down, and you're going to about center it. And I'm just eyeballing, you guys. I'm just eyeballing it, and it's a card. It's not a biggie. And that looks pretty good, actually. And this is the Anna Griffin gold metallic paper. The matte one. That's what I'm using here. I do know that I need to invest in some more frame dies, because the one that they used had a little decorative thing going, and I wanted to use all Anna Griffin, but I didn't have one. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. The next thing you're going to need to do is cut out the door, and it does come with the silhouette and the intricate one as well. And I already have mine cut out. Like I said, I've been cutting all morning. So here's my door, and I use the metallic black to cut the door out. And because it's that type of paper that has like a plastic over it, it wanted to curve. So to straighten it out some, I just cut it out in black cardstock again and adhered it to the back of my door. One, to give it strength. Two, to kind of straighten it out some. And I did already glue a couple of the pieces in place, because I didn't want to take up too much of your time. So here is that kick plate, and I used some really small dots. Hold on, let me close the door to my craft room. I'm recording. If I don't say it, they'll come in making a lot of noise. I use some really tiny dots to go there. I thought I had left them out, but maybe I put them away. I have by, I think they were by Hampton Art. No, I must have put them away, you guys. Anyway, they're real tiny adhesive gold dots, and they come with real tiny ones and a little bit bigger. So that's what I use right here. And then here is the letterbox, and then there's a door handle. So that's what I use. These three pieces came from the door frame from Carnation Craft. And all we're going to do now in this, we can add foam if we want, or we can glue it down flat. If you pick it up like this, it's going to give you a shadow on the gold, and that looks really pretty too. But I think I'm just gonna adhere it down because of the paper I used, and I don't want the door to open, so I'm just gonna glue it down. I do not want my door to open. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but for this I don't. And I'm just going to add glue everywhere so I can glue it down to the gold. And hopefully not make a mess. You know how it tends to really get, if it slips around or something, it makes a mess on the gold. And I'm going to try and put glue in as many areas as I can, because it is curved and I don't want it to be curved. Okay. So I'm going to line this up. I'm going to pick it up, guys, because I want to make sure it is centered. And I think it's made to fit like perfectly on there. Yeah. So you don't get an edge or anything. It's perfect. And like I said, I want to glue it right down because I don't want it to curve. And by adding the other regular cardstock in the back, it's easier to adhere it to the foil on the back, because if both of them were shiny and slippery like that, it would be hard to adhere them. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do here, and I think that I am going to add dimension to the back of this. And I have a very large roll that I keep very close at hand because I love adding dimension to my projects. But hey, I'm going through it. It depends on what I'm doing. So I'm going to add dimension to, I'm going to add foam tape to the door. I do want it to be popped up. Maybe one in the center and another one over here. It doesn't have to have foam all over it, but if you prefer, you can actually cut the silhouette part out of foam. Sometimes I do that. The silhouette out of foam, and then it will be more solid and you won't have any gaps in the middle. For me, it doesn't matter that it's going to have gaps because it's already 3 layers of cardstock here, so it's, you know, it's not bad. It's not gonna collapse or anything. Make sure that you have your card facing the right way, and then I'm going to adhere this door to the center of the card, and hopefully we will get it straight, you guys. You know, when you're doing when you're recording, seems like that everything that comes easy when you're not recording tends to give you a problem when you're recording. Let's get rid of these. And I like to add glue, even though this is really strong tape because this is made for windows, like insulation on windows. Even though it's really, really strong, I still add glue because it gives me a little wiggle room. And I'm going to have it more higher than lower. Well, yeah, I'm going to leave it right about there. So I'm going to line up with the bottom of my frame over here. And it looks like I am straight, so we're going to go with it. So there is part of our card. Look at how beautiful that door looks in the black. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so that is glued down. Now, for the lanterns or sconces, I have everything over here, guys, already with tape and ready to go. For these, I'm not going to add any foam. I'm just going to glue them, but I'm going to glue them right below these triangles right here, where you can see these little gold triangles. That's where I'm going to glue them down. And I'm not going to add foam. I'm just going to glue them down. That's it. And I did cut them out twice, one in the matte gold and one in like an ivory color. And I cut off everything except that center piece right there. And let's, come on. And I'm trying to line up in the center of the side of the door because it's almost as wide as the lantern. And I don't want you to be able to see like the gray in the open frame because the lantern is open. That one doesn't have a silhouette or anything. So there's one. And now number 2. I really don't need any on the sides because it kind of falls off the side, really, to be honest. Give it a minute to glue. And then we're going to do the same with this one, and I'm covering that hole right there. Hopefully I'm about at the same spot. And that looks about right. And I'm going to hold it down for a little bit, so make sure that they stick. And if you want them to be like beside the door, then you would of course need a bigger card frame, because normally they are beside the door, not directly on the door frame, but on the wall beside the door. So there's that. Now, For the center, I created a wreath. Look at how gorgeous that is. So I took these flowers out of one of, I bought the Create 8, the whole thing, when it was really, really cheap on sale. And I got the whole thing, so I have a bunch of flowers. There's bigger ones, and then there's smaller ones. So I took some out from the smaller one, and then I had this also in there. So this was already pre-done in there. But if you have the cartouche and the stamps, you can make your own. And then this little bow is from the door. And this little bling piece right there, it came in the same package as the tiny, tiny ones. So this is going to go here. And I'm not going to take the tape off of it because I'm going to use the same door. Oh, man, and I glued it down. I'm going to see, maybe. And I don't want to glue it down because I want to show you something else that you can do with it. So I'm going to leave the backing on the foam. I did add foam. And you can see I just kind of arranged the flowers around the back of the wreath. And that will go there. Look at how gorgeous that looks. And then I cut out the little oval piece that that came with the Carnation Craft door, and here are where the little numbers came into play. And then with another die that I had in my stash, I cut out a larger oval to put the little gold one on top of that, and I added the two little blings that were there, and that will go up here. I'm not going to remove the backing on that. You guys know that I want to show you something else. So then that will go there. Look at how gorgeous that's looking. And then the last thing would be the flower pots. And I do have repositional glue there, dots there, but I'm not going to take the backing off. And these would go, I took it off of this one. Let me put something on there because I don't want it to tear. I don't want it to pull it off and for it to rip anything. Look at how gorgeous that looks. Now for these flowers came from the flower shop, flower cart box. But they were dimensional. So they had the bottom and then they had the flower that was layered up. The tape comes right off, so I took it off because I don't need the pots. All I needed was the top of the flowers. And that's all I did there, guys. And then this would go here. And then this one would go on the other side if I was going to leave it. Let me see if I can get it to behave. So that's where, look at how gorgeous that is. So this particular card is on Pinterest, and I love the way it looks, and that's what I came up with. But as I was thinking and sitting there and looking at it, I remembered that it was either Veronica from V Ballon, or it was, like I said, So Goodall, Audrey from So Goodall on YouTube. And they had gone to the post office or something, and there had been a card or something that had a wreath or a door or something. And I thought, you know, sometimes we have to give those cards that are hard to do, but you still want to do it, you know, for when someone loses somebody in their family. And I created, as I was doing this, I thought, oh, that would be a very special card if you made it for somebody, because you don't see these cards how we create. Like, you can't go to the grocery store and find it. These are custom works. These are work from the heart. And if you do that for someone that's very special to you, I know that they would know that that was custom made just for them, or that they're special enough that you would do something like that for them. Now, to change this up, I didn't glue anything down, and it wasn't very difficult, you guys. It was a lot of cutting. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been cutting all morning. You know, if you do this in an assembly line, or if I was going to do 5 or 6, I would go ahead and cut all the 5 doors, all the silhouettes, all the frames, you know, and then just have everything ready to go to assemble. But was it work? Yes. But for one, it's doable. So anyway, this was the card that I wanted to recreate. And as I was thinking, sitting there thinking, I thought this would make a great card for a sympathy card. And I printed out some of my artwork. Hold up, before I do that, oh, I was forgetting one thing. Here are the steps from the Spellbinders open house sentiments. Look at how gorgeous that is. I cut it out in the shiny black, and then I cut it out in gray, and I inserted the plate for you in there, so it the letters fall out. And then it comes with another die to layer those little black pieces that you have there. And then I cut out the rails from the stairs in black, so it would be like wrought iron. Now imagine this. Let me move it up some. Let me see. Imagine this on a longer card. Let's remove these for the moment. You, of course, would need a longer card. But imagine that there. And then your planters, or your planters could be like more to the side. So just, well, maybe they could stay behind there too. Don't move. You know, when you don't glue it down, everything's going to move around. But then imagine the steps, guys. Look at that for you. Isn't that gorgeous? Wouldn't that make a beautiful Christmas one as well, with Christmas trees here instead of the flower pots, or a beautiful birthday card? I think it is gorgeous. But I think I would put this underneath though, and then these on top. I don't know, they kind of cover the rails. So you'd have to probably make a wider card so you could put these on the side and they wouldn't interfere with the steps. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? So that's one idea that I had. Now I'm going to remove all this and share my other idea. So I'm going to remove these. Then I thought this would make a great sympathy card. So we already have all this done, but this is not big enough for what I want. I needed, the width is fine. This measures 5 inches, but I needed it to be longer. So I cut out another base, and unfortunately I glued the door down here. So I'm going to see if this will work regardless. I'm hoping that it will. So here's my base. This one is 8.5 inches tall by 5.5 inches wide. So it's a full sheet, 8.5 by 11. And imagine this here. And I would move, I'm going to move it up. I actually had it wider because I don't like for you to see that much of a border. But the reason I couldn't leave it was because the embossing folder is smaller than the paper, and it kind of rippled it, and it didn't look good. I'm not sure how this would look behind that. Let's see. Yeah, no, I would need a bigger frame for sure. So I'm just going to put this just to have something on there. And then I'm going to lay the original card on top because I already glued down my door. So, okay, here is our card, larger. Let's say you have to make a card for someone, you know, a sympathy card. I remembered that I had these, it's called the Bouquet Maker from Carnation Crafts. And you get artwork in about 5 different colors, but they always have a gray and white one in there. And I was looking for some die that had artwork that was small enough, and the Bouquet Maker by Carnation Craft was the perfect size. They are from the UK, but they ship to the US. I don't think they charge a lot, you guys. I order from them all the time. So I printed out the artwork in the grayscale, and I cut them out. And let me grab those pieces. And I cut them out. Now here, I also used another Anna Griffin die, which, oh, I found those little gems I was looking for. Here are those little gems by Hampton Art, and they're the gold, and they have 3 different sizes. I don't know if you can find these. I've had these in my stash a very long time. And I used this die, and I think this is the Baroque frame die. I hauled this when she had the sale. And sometimes you got to look at dies differently, you know, because sometimes we look at something and think we can only do one thing with them, or they're, you know, you really got to use your imagination. And sometimes I'm not good at that, but today I was. So anyway, I just used the center one. I did not use the silhouette to it, just the center one. I didn't use the inserts to it, just this heavily embossed one. That's the only one I used. So because I was creating a sympathy card, I did my wreath. Here is my wreath. Normally a door will have a black wreath, but I wanted to bring a little gray into it. And then I have with sympathy, I cut the back part with the Griffin cartouche, but in the foil mirror cardstock. And then I just stamped it. It's just stamped. And then I tucked in these little flowers, which are these, from the bouquet maker from Carnation Crafts. These are the flowers that I used. And then I used my little punch, my little Fisker's punch. I've had it for a really long time. And cut out a little black bow to go there. But when I put it here, I mean, it was pretty, but black on black, it still looks good because one shiny mirror and one is more of a matte. But I thought I need to do something else. I cut, here's that piece. If you guys don't have this die, you guys should get it. When I picked this up and then I put this on top, look at how gorgeous that looks. Like it changes it completely. So I did this to go here, in between there, and then the wreath. And look at how gorgeous that is. It just brought just a little something to separate all the black that I had going on the door. And look at how gorgeous that is. That's absolutely beautiful. And then I cut out 2 more of the flower pots, just the bottom part. And here are the flower pots that I made with the Carnation Craft flowers in the grayscale and black. The other one that I shared with you that was curved, that's where I cut it out just in black paper. I didn't cut out artwork or nothing. And then the tiny flowers, those I did use the artwork. But they all have artwork. I just chose not to use it. And then there's that little bow. And I did add a little crystal there, but it's a black. So it's very subtle. Now imagine these flower pots on someone's, you know, you got to imagine your door. And when you decorate it or whatever, of course this wouldn't be for that. This is more, you want to keep it a little bit more subtle. That's why I used the blacks and the grays and just a little bit of the green, because I thought this would be perfect. And then I thought, but that would look pretty with the stairs. So I did cut out another set of steps. And on this one, it says, "So sorry." What I used for that one is a Spellbinders die, this one, that had the Merry Christmas sentiments, but it had all the letters that I needed for "So sorry." Or, you know, if you have something that cuts out that small letters, enough to go on there. But it was tedious putting that together. I'm going to have to be real honest with you guys, because these are even smaller than the ones that come with the steps. And with the steps, you don't have to line up anything. You just, you know, poke them out and put a different contrasting color on the back. But I had enough to get that word out from the letters that were there. And that's what I came up with. Now imagine this. Let's take these away. And then the steps. And I would need to add some something behind that, because it's, let me find something so it'll sit the right way. I have some strips or something here that I can use. Well, no, not really. I don't have anything that I can use there to lift it up a little bit, because it's leaning down because the door is on foam. So the steps would have to be on foam. But look at that, you guys. And then let's just add the flowers back. And I could add the flowers behind. right here. I could add this one here. And I kind of got one to face, see these flowers are coming in, and then the opposite, they're coming into the door. But you have to be careful that you don't make them too big like I did, because then they're going to stick out. Or unless you're going to do, in the UK, they do like 8x8 size cards. Then for that, it would work. And then, of course, you would have your steps. It's really hard to try and maneuver that. So, I mean, if you had it glued down and everything, but definitely you would need to make a bigger card if you're going to do an arrangement that is more open like the ones that I have here. Because if I had an 8x8 card, then I would have plenty of room. But look at how pretty. Look at how pretty that looks. See, if I put the steps first and then I put this, it kind of covers the rails up. And I don't want to do that. I would rather this would be more to the side over here than covering that. Let's put them here. A little lower. Let's put that one there. Bring this one down some. Right underneath there. Look at that, you guys. Let me move these out of the way. These are the ones I didn't use. I kind of cut bits and pieces off. And I didn't do the house number or anything on top of there. But you could definitely, if you have a really small cross die. I don't have anything small, but I had this little wooden cross. And then from the Dollar Tree, I bought these when they had them. I don't like that it has the stone there, but I would remove it and maybe leave it with nothing or replace it with a black one. But I had this little wooden one that I could actually tuck into the arrangement that's here. I need tweezers, you guys. So you could either tuck it into the arrangement that you have up here on the wreath, or you could just kind of place it above on that window that's above the doors. Anyway, guys, this is what I wanted to share with y'all. And I hope that this gives you ideas and this inspires you. I am going to finish this up and add the thumbnail to the video. And I think I might even add it to a bigger, maybe an 8x8 card. That way I can, you know, put the flowers where I want, where everything looks nice and neat. And I think I'm going to go ahead and complete it that way. And that way you guys can go back to the thumbnail and look at that picture if you want to. And I will also post it on my Facebook group and on Instagram. That way you guys can get a better look at it. Because I know a lot of times the thumbnails are real small in the YouTube videos. And then as soon as you play it, you don't get to see that. And I'm not real good with editing and none of that stuff. So I can't even insert a picture for you. But I will put it in all my social medias. That way if you're following me there or I'm following you, you will have access to looking at that picture. But anyway, that's all that I wanted to share with you all today. But it did take quite a while to cut everything out, to make my arrangement just right. But the results, what does Anna say? That's beautiful in the making. Anyway, guys, I hope everyone has a great day and God bless. Bye.